little more than a month before the debut of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the Paramount Plus series experienced a classic good news and bad news situation. The good news is that they are already filming its 4th season, and that they announced the original series' prequel show's 5th and final season. So that's the bad news, and the thing I said before was the good news. Also, there will only be 6 episodes instead of the usual 10. So, why would Paramount Plus cancel Strange New Worlds by giving the show 2 more seasons when its 3rd season hasn't even debuted yet? Well, like everything with Star Trek, it's complicated. That's the article saying that. That's not me saying that, even though I have not watched Star Trek yet. Fans of the universe that Gene Roddenberry created in 1966 noted a Writers Guild announcement indicating Strange New Worlds renewal for Season 5. What began as an exciting update quickly turned bittersweet when the studio announced the shortened episode count and this series' end. Of all the shows in the 3rd wave of this universe, which began with 2017's Discovery on the then CBS All Access thing or whatever, Strange New Worlds is the most recently, or like just the most well-received show by the larger fan base. And ever since TOS fans picketed NBC for more Star Trek, and then again demanding the network cancel the animated series it greenlit, new series have struggled for acceptance. The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise all had their critics, yet these shows experienced a renaissance on streaming in the 2010s. This inspired Paramount to launch their own streaming service with a new suite of Star Trek shows, which, of course, some vocal fans rejected. Strange New Worlds arrived at like a breath of hope for fresh air by delivering us a familiar premise, familiar characters, and the most famous ship, the original USS Enterprise. But all Starfleet missions end. What can be blamed for this? Well, the biggest culprit for Strange New Worlds' cancellation is, of course, the Paramount merger delay. Chief stockholder in the studio, Shari Redstone, faced financial troubles after the studio lost billions in streaming investments and a string of box office flops. David Ellison's Skydance Media entered a merger with Paramount Studios. A frequent production partner with the studio, including the last 2 Star Trek films, Skydance wanted Paramount Studios' space, prestige name, and catalog of films, series, and intellectual property. Redstone just wanted out. As talks began and Paramount began entertaining other offers, production on Star Trek continued in earnest, even though the studio's investment in development on the property lessened. In the second wave of Star Trek television production, executive producer Rick Berman enjoyed an unprecedented 18-year run with 4 shows lasting 7 seasons. In 2017, the 3rd wave began with Discovery, followed by an active development on more Star Trek series at one time ever than before, and after the studios forced both the writers and actors unions to strike in 2023, the writer's strike, I remember that, with streaming as a central financial issue, Paramount faced dire financial straits, and the Skydance merger met trouble, too. Some Paramount executives remained committed to Star Trek, even as mergers began talk. Recent rumors suggest that Skydance wants to shelve Star Trek on television for a significant amount of time, while Kurtzman's critics suggest— Kurtzman is someone else in the article that I didn't want to get into the whole thing, but anyways, Kurtzman's critics suggest that this reflects dissatisfaction with the quality and substance of Secret Hideout series. It could be something more straightforward since strikes in 2023 crafted better rates for writers and actors on streaming, and studios have obviously reduced their investments into original shows and films for these platforms. But even with a shorter 5th season, Strange New Worlds is easily considered a successful show, as are Lower Decks and Discovery. Sure, 5 seasons are fewer than the 7 most of the second wave series earned, but it's more than more, it's just more than Enterprise ever got, even if it deserved it. And the most successful streaming original on Disney Plus is, of course, Mandalorian, which has only have 3 seasons so far, and fewer episodes than any Star Trek series at all, save for short treks. Many streaming services can even barely get a 2nd season, so 5 is just an absolute triumph, especially for Paramount Plus. When Warner Brothers and Discovery completed their merger, David Zaslav made some desperate moves to manage the company's debts. One thing the studio did was permanently shelve completed films and series for a unique post-merger write-off opportunity. This earned them a slew of bad press, especially when they shelved Batgirl and gave us the horrible Flash movie. While Zaslav made his bones in reality television, David Ellison of Skydance is a true creative executive, which implies a respect for films and series as more than mere content. So even when the Secret Hideout deal expired, expires, there should be 2 complete seasons of both Strange New Worlds and Starfleet Academy set to debut. Given the reaction to Warner Bros. Discovery's use of this merger write-off maneuver, if Skydance can complete their deal with the new studio, wouldn't the new studio, it just wouldn't want that kind of heat, basically. Star Trek isn't as big or as popular as Star Wars, which is a crazy thing to say, but it is technically true. I hate to anger anyone out there. I'm not saying this because I'm a Star Wars fan or I'm not a Star Trek fan. I want to get into Star Trek, but this is the facts, you know? Even with the Kurtzman era critics or whatever, killing the final 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds to make a tiny dent in their balance sheet would cause a ruckus. Even if they were desperate, Star Trek historically continues to earn money for studios well after the series are canceled. I'm sure many people know this, but the original Star Trek series wasn't even a hit until it was in syndication, and The Next Generation didn't turn a profit until it was given a season's first rerun, according to the 50-Year Mission books by Edward Gross and Mark A. Altman, and various Star Trek documentarians, or documentaries. There, of course, remains a chance the unreleased seasons of these Star Trek shows are hidden away for a cheap write-off post-merger. Barring that, though, Star Trek fans can look forward to 4 new seasons of television through 2027. Looking at how drastically the industry's priorities shifted from 2023 to 2025, streaming may be back in a big way by then. That Star Trek still exists at all arguably defies all conventional wisdom in Hollywood. Yet, even if this second resurgence ends, there is now a clearly established pattern. Star Trek goes away from TV, comes back as feature films, and then it comes back to TV. Paramount cancels Strange New Worlds, but by ensuring its run shows the studio expects to be 4 times lucky. I want to end this video off with a comment I see, because you can comment on articles now on CBR. Not to be the optimist here, but consider this. Strange New World more closely follows the original series, TOS, than any other preceding Star Trek venture on television. The original series had, in its own word, a 5-year mission. Say in Altered Dimension, TOS had been as popular as Gunsmoke. Additional seasons would have given the Enterprise a new mission. Likewise, Paramount can change its mind with Strange New World. We should tell them we wanted to change its mind. Just my opinion, from this person who wrote that. That's all there really is to say about Strange New World. I will one day make a Star Trek video. I promise you I will. Will I ever make a Star Wars video? No. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I can't keep up. I only know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I forget 7, 8, 9. I just do. Did not watch Boba Fett. Yeah, I did watch Clone Wars, though, so I should probably fix my timeline, but, you know, I watched Clone Wars. I watched Rebels. I watched a little bit of Ahsoka. Just a little bit. But I wouldn't really do a video about Star Wars. Everyone's done a video about Star Wars. Who's going to care what I think? I like Star Wars. That's all I got to say about it. So, yeah. Expect a Star Trek video coming. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on the bell for post notifications. I am still working on the Gilligan's Island video. But I'm still making videos in between. So, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad. Reminder that when I hit 900, I will be talking about Saved by the Bell. And I have not put a poll out yet for 1,000 subscribers. Because, well, I didn't hit 900 yet. I only have 805 subscribers right now. I think we should wait. Let's calm down. Let's not plan ahead yet, okay? Let's just calm down, release the Gilligan's Island video, release other videos, make a series, whatever.